Welcome YouTube, this is Asterisk Wired. So this is part 16 of the Devil May Cry playthrough. So in this particular episode, this is kind of a snappy one here just because we're going to get past the leftover footage that happened previously. So it's just kind of the concept of this being, this is a relatively straightforward mission just within the sense of it, as long as you know what you're doing here. It probably would have only taken me about 6 minutes or so had I known from like the get-go as far as what to do about it. But I kind of look after it, considering that this is kind of a blind playthrough. I just feel like the concept it just creates, because I feel like, just having more pungency to these videos, just being able to have some extra type stuff to be able to provide more content. I figured it'd probably have like some more goodness to some of this. So just more popcorn munching, more things like that, just standard concepts, more fodder for Swisher Sweet lighting and pitches like that, and backwoods I'd say good pitch. But yeah, I'm going to use some of these items here because some of these enemies do start to tear you up a bit as far as that particular kind of goes. But yeah, so this is relatively kind of dusky October. I am liking some of these cooler nights here. It's this pretty excellent concept. My computer basically says that it gets beneath like 50 degrees, which is interesting. This is the concept, considering that it can be like 80, 85 degrees where the pools are still open in like October. Like October 8th, October 12th, some of those type times as far as those pitches kind of happen with it. But I look after it just being able to say, yeah, it's just some brisk times. This game depicts that in a lot of ways. This feels like it's probably around this time of year when this particular game is taking place. So it fits right in real well with it. But in terms of some of the standard stuff that's going on, just more reviews abound, this stuff like that, just finding these mixtapes, some of that type goodness to be able to have. But apparently there's some interesting tidbits coming out. Apparently, like, I'm interested in some of this new hops and stuff, and I kind of got backtrack on that particular segment because you don't want to, like, you're supposed to follow the light. If you don't follow the light, you get dropped off back at, like, the starting point. But yeah, this is me talking about hops in here, like, there's some good stuff that's kind of amongst like some of these things that are kind of particularly happening. So I do like seeing some new content here just because I look after it. That needs to start happening with a lot more folks. I would like to kind of wonder, like someone in particular that'd be really excellent to know if he had like any secret projects around would be Swizz. I just question, like even like just wonder, because I know that Swizz is always like one of Hobson's biggest wingmen or something like that. It'd be a pretty interesting pitch if he had like some sort of secret project. I know how like particularly kind of devout he is about being less kind of project oriented, but I just would almost question if he really worked on anything. Just wondering if there would be like a MySpace mixtape, wondering if Swizz had a MySpace or something like that. It's because I know that they at least, surely they did enough songs or something like that. I would think that he would have had something around, some pitches like that. And then there's also someone, Jackal Goldkick enjoys this rapper a lot, and he's kind of a good cat that I really enjoy as well as JB, and I look after it just being able to say, if you don't know who JB is, I would say to check out my music channel. I reviewed some of his stuff, but just being able to say and stuff, I question, like I know that his first album, His Life is Offensive, but it just makes me question if he had any mixtapes or something like that that might have been floating around. I just question, because I know, like it says that on like JB's YouTube that he made his YouTube in 2009, so I just question what the float around kind of was, if there was any other prior projects. And it's the same thing, me just questioning when Hobson made like his MySpace or some of those type of times, just wondering if there were some other ones floating around with that. It's a lot of those folks just to be able to particularly kind of get, because these secret projects are pretty excellent here. I look after just within the concept, getting a Swizz mixtape, getting some of these types of folks. Plenty of them I would have to say. Just like there's like a Young Money mixtape that I'm really trying to get a hold of, and pitches like that. There's just tons of these that I would really like to be able to know, like the true, like, it's really, like, it's one thing to not be able to purchase an album, because at least most of the time it winds up being on YouTube. Like Kid Rock has some of those type of ones. Like he has like Early Morning Stone Pimp, which came out before Devil Without a Cause, and that's like a $200 album, which is pretty ridiculous, but it's just the fact that Kid Rock never really released it on CD like that, and if he did, it's very pricey. Like I was saying, 200 bones for it, but I just look after it. There needs to be, like, the mixtapes are just a lot trickier just to be able to get a hold of, because when they disappear, for the most part, unless you really find like some stalwart folks who stalwart in a good way that really keep track of some of these, they just happen to vanish. That just kind of happens. There's just mixtapes. I mean, it may not be tons of them, but every now and then I'll encounter a mixtape that's like from 2006 or 2005 or 2009 or 2011 or something. And with those years being 18 and 13 and 16 years ago, it just kind of is the concept. If you don't get them, they're just gone. But just kind of, I mean, it's just shout out to those people. I would almost say damn near if it weren't for copyright, they could probably make like some easy money just off that. Because I know there'd be folks who would say, yeah, they want these particular music. And it's not, and yeah, it's the concept, but obviously not playing to persons like a addiction, something like that, but just the concept of just being able to say, yeah, but yeah. So here's this one cat again, this boss here. I forget his name. I remember Jackal Goldkick told me his name here, but just being able to say, it's either an offshoot of him or something like that. It was an interesting, good pitch here. Yeah, I just look after it. And it's easy enough to see it. I don't consider it playing to addictions as far as trying to say like an addiction to music. Because it's not, you don't get addicted to music as much as it is just the concept that you just happen to have like a real affluent kind of desire for some of those type of things. And it's just kind of the concept that, the availability, like there was a post I saw on Reddit that kind of pissed me off a bit. There was like someone, like the recent Hopsin mixtape that got posted to the internet, which is the MySpace Hip Hop Sinister. There was like some Reddit comment from a person that said that he wished that he was like the only person that still had a copy of that so he could hold on to it and make sure that no one ever heard it. I wanted to slap the crap out of that dude. It was just the stupidest thing. It was just the greed-basedness of that particular comment. I just wonder where that came from. There were just some people, like no one really said fuck you to that person or anything like that. It just kind of felt like the nerve of just being able to say like as if that sort of music just should never be around within the first place. It was just pretty ridiculous. I just look after it, but it is kind of the concept there is just that particular type pitch, because he was trying to make it sound as if Hopsin didn't even want that music out, but I doubt it. I think Hopsin, this was in the pitch behind it. I mean, he made the music for a reason. It was on his MySpace. It's not like it had any illicit tag as far as saying that, like, he just wouldn't have wanted that to kind of happen. You just look after, that's the thing. So the mission's clear. This would have to say and stuff, like, this kind of happens to be the pitch behind it. But once again, I don't remember what I got in the previous mission. It gave me a D rank. I finished that relatively quickly. I don't know if it's because I took damage. I didn't die in that mission, so I don't know what's really going on there. But yeah, we'll have to see if the next mission is going to be a pain or something like that. But I just look after it. We'll get towards it. So more of these are on the way. I just would have to say, just enjoy like the cool weather pitches like that. Appreciate some of these autumn evenings. Get some popcorn, some pitches like that. Just would have to say, smoke up a bit. Enjoy the times. Just sift through this playlist. It's some excellent stuff here that's going to be happening with this. So just enjoy the playlist pitches like that. Fuck with Acid Roots music, some of these type fairs and other stuff. Good mixtapes and stuff like that.